Good shape?
Okay. It's just
Is everyone excited to be here? Do it with a little more enthusiasm. Monday, I'll give it to you. So don't forget there are pastries and coffee and things for you this morning. But to get us started, I'm going to invite Matthew up to give the invocation.
Before we pray, I think it's appropriate for us to pause momentarily to remember the El Paso and Hayden, as well as South Haven tragedy that occurred over the past weekend and the past week. So let's pause momentarily. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. Thank you for just your blessings and grace and mercies that is keeping us and protecting us. And Heavenly Father, we just thank you again for this staff. Thank you for this assembly here today. Continue to bless this agency and continue to lead Dr. Mayfield in a way that be pleasing unto you. And bless this entire MCCB staff, oh God, and just keep them safe and keep us safe. as we travel about to do the business of the agency. Heavenly Father, we ask you just protect our colleges as they begin a new academic school year, protect their students, protect their faculty and staff, and also protect again our staff that will be traveling to those colleges, oh God, and just keep them safe from out here harm or danger. Heavenly Father, I will be remiss to ask for a prayer for our country. And Heavenly Father, you know everything that's going on around our country. We just ask that we just get back to the basics of what this country was founded on, that is love and equality for everyone that's a child of you, oh God. And again, we just thank you for this day, and let our efforts, oh God, here today not be in vain as we continue to do great things here in our state with this board and with our colleges. This is my prayer report. Amen. Amen.
I'm the executive assistant here at Mississippi Public Broadcasting. So I'm just kind of giving some housekeeping rules. Well, before I do that, of course, I have to do a small report because it's our 50th year, our 50th anniversary is coming up in 2020. And just some unique things about MPB are that we are one of the few stations in the country that have dual license, which means that we're both educational TV and educational radio. As far as radio goes, we are at the top of the list of how much local programming we have. We have weekday hours, 8:30 a.m. to noon. There are health shows. You have free doctor advice, free lawyer advice. Everybody needs that. There's a show with a lady mechanic, that's what she calls herself, and she does a great job helping you out with car issues. So tune in. Of course, there's the gardening show, famous for that. Your own Dr. Mayfield has been serving on our board. And all that's I want to tell you about MTV. Watch and listen. All over the state. The only station that is broadcast all over the state. Now, as far as housekeeping, what I want you to know is there's a door back that way that says MTV staff only. The reason it says it is because there is that local programming going on. So there is live broadcasting there. Don't walk through that door. If you need help, there are people who have my number, or there's Adam Chance, who's your tech help. He's back here. He knows everything. There's signs over there that tell you that the women's restroom is over this side, the men's to this side. There's also a break room, although your food looks a lot better than anything that's in there. And if those bathrooms happen to be too full, there are bathrooms that go downstairs, and right around the corner there's another each kind, if that makes sense. So women's over here, men's over there. And that's it. We're glad you're here and hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you for all your so
Before we get started, I wanted to thank you all for being here and to welcome you again, and just say that we're excited for our inaugural convocation. And just to give you a brief background on how we got started with this, our Professional Development Committee met in May, and we were discussing what we wanted to do for that coming year. Can you hear me if I'm talking into this? Is it not? Okay. I thought I was loud enough, apparently. So the Professional Development Committee came up with the idea of hosting some sort of event, and it evolved into what we're calling the convocation. We did those surveys with the staff and some interviews with some of the divisions, and we learned that, well, we know we have so many new faces, and we're so excited you're part of the MCCB family these days. But we also knew that we needed to let everyone know what we do in our divisions so we can continue to work better together, so we can find those ways to create synergy and break down any silos that may exist between the different divisions and what we do. So that was the origin of how this came about, and thank you to Dr. Mayfield for embracing the idea and for being excited about it and for letting us run with it. And so today we'll hear more about Dr. Mayfield's vision for the agency for the upcoming year. We'll also hear more from the divisions and some of the fantastic activities and projects and programs that are taking place. And we'll also have some, what I like to call ensemble activities in the afternoon, and I'll share more about those. So we do have door prizes today. We have lots of snacks, lots of food. We're going to have a good time. And I don't want to forget the opportunity to thank the Professional Development Committee. If you're on the Professional Development Committee, can you please stand up? So we've got a great group. I also want to thank Carla, Krista, Audra, and Kathy for helping, and Lisa for coming in, for helping make all of these outstanding bows and for stuffing all of these great bags that you have with you today. So thank you all for your support. And thank you to the divisions for putting in the time to create the PowerPoints according to the template. So much appreciated. I appreciate it tremendously. And I'm going to let Dr. Maple take it over from here.
All right. Now, y'all are not real lively this morning, so I know you're wondering what on earth is she going to do with this? Well, I'll explain that a little bit later. But for now, I would like, one thing I do notice is that everybody's kind of sitting with people from their division. You know, you're all in your comfort zone right now. Well, today is about unity. It's about getting to know one another. It's about having a good time. So, I want you to get up, and I want you to introduce yourself to two people that you don't really know here in the agency. And I want you to tell them two things unique about you.
I'm gonna do extra all the way. All right.
Thank you.
tell you throughout the years being involved with the community college, Convocation was always a huge success and a very important process for kicking off a new year. Convocations typically brought people together. You had a lot of fun. And it also set the stage for what you were going to do in your next year. So today I wanted to talk about a few things, and I also want to have a little fun. For those who don't know me, I do like to have a good time. I like to create a little mischief now and again. And I like things that are funny, that make me laugh. So I wanted to kick off my presentation with a short video. This is something that has always been funny to me, so I hope you'll find it funny as well. So let me start.
Research has now confirmed what many of us have suspected for some time. Today's employees are no longer sufficiently motivated by traditional workplace incentives. Good working conditions, benefits, even the prospect of a paycheck at the end of the week just don't seem to charge the batteries of a generation influenced by the instant gratification of ATM machines, fast food, and the ding-ding-ding of success when they defeat the brain-sucking frog demon in level 99 of Mega Ultra Hyper Doom. No, to motivate employees with the attention span of a distracted gnat, you've got to offer stimuli similar to the instant incentives that dominate the rest of their lives. To meet that need, we're now testing the new Graduated Revenue Economic Enrichment Device, the GREED system. By installing a GREED terminal at an employee's workstation, the system can monitor an individual employee's productivity on specific assignments and immediately provide appropriate compensation. Let me demonstrate. Let's say I'm supposed to submit a report on widget production today. I load the completed report into the system. GREED analyzes the report for length, content, style, and accuracy, and voila! I get paid what the report is worth. We're also testing a variant where the system can provide different incentives based on time of day and an employee's individual preferences profile. For example, let's say I submit some market projections just before a noon deadline. Ham sandwich. This can also be programmed vegetarian or kosher. Must not have liked the sales forecast. I was expecting chips and a Coke. Fire off a short memo to the boss. I hate small jobs. Now, the inventors of the GREED system realized that positive reinforcement is not always the most effective incentive. They're still working on negative reinforcement options appropriate for missed deadlines, sloppy work, or just goofing off. I can't give you all the details right now, but I can confirm that the prototype involves pigeons.
Jason has that system on back order right now. Oh, in all seriousness, I do like to have a good time. Let me pull up the presentation and then we'll get started. All right, last night I started to work on this presentation and I was certainly using video. I did use the template.
You must do on Friday.
Hey, I guess I need to pull my umbrella out. I'm in a lot of trouble. Well, I do want to talk about several things, and one of those is to talk about myself just a little bit so that all of you will get to know me just a little bit better. I do want to talk about my leadership style, what that looks like, some of the things that are important to me, things that I try to avoid and wish to avoid at all costs. And I want to talk about our theme today, Better Together, and why that's important to the accomplishment of our mission. I want to talk a little bit about the planning for MCCB, and then I have a challenge that I want to issue to all of you. As an agency, we are all part of the same team. We're all working together for a common goal. And ultimately, that goal is to help people. That's what we do. We help people. I want you to understand me as a person. So let me talk just a little bit about who I am, things that I like, where I come from, and maybe some of the experiences that I had as a child. I am one of 6. I'm the only female, and I'm the oldest. Go figure, right? I am the oldest. I do have twin brothers who are just 1 year behind me. So think about the dynamics of a family. My mother and father didn't have a college education. My dad worked maintenance at a college. Mom stayed home with us. And we were really quite poor, to be honest with you. I remember as a child we lived in multiple places. We lived in a mobile home for a while. It was very crowded. My bedroom was actually the size of a closet. Maybe that's why I enjoy enclosed spaces today. I don't know, but it was very small. I remember we moved into an apartment with college students. And I can remember, and it's strange what you can remember from your childhood, but I remember sleeping on a cot in a small room with my twin brothers, and they were in a baby bed. It's strange how you pick out pieces and parts of things that you remember. I remember the college students that lived next door. I would always go over and they would entertain me. I was a small child. And I remember the old finger trick, you know, where you pretend like your finger's cut off and you got it in a box. And anyway, I don't know why that you know, sticks in my mind, but that was something that I truly always remember. You know, my idea of a birthday party, I remember when we moved into our first and only house. My parents had it built while we were children. We moved in, my birthday's in February. You know, I always wanted a pool party. But that wouldn't work in February. So, we lived surrounded by woods on a creek bank, and I invited a whole lot of people over, and my idea of fun was we're going to slide down these muddy red dirt hills, these creek banks, into the water, okay? So all these frilly little girls are getting that red mud all over their clothes, and we're all wet and sloppy. Well, let's just say that's the last birthday party I ever had. It was a whole lot of fun, but my style of birthday party was let's get dirty and wet and have a good time. I was always a tomboy. I always felt like I was a male in a female body almost. I always enjoyed things that people traditionally think are male activities. I enjoyed football. I played football with the neighborhood boys. I was always a roughhouser. I liked to play pranks on people. I enjoyed time with male counterparts. They were my friends because they liked to go out and pick up snakes and rappel from walls and all of those fun activities that I enjoyed. I can say too that I did have Barbie dolls. Yep, I did. I had Barbie dolls. And my twin brothers, I kind of feel sorry for them because there were days I would say, all right, David, you're playing Barbies with me. And poor guy. And there were days I would say, all right, we're not talking to Michael today. That was the other twin. So it was an interesting childhood, but I can say it was a great childhood. I enjoyed roaming the neighborhood, playing with the kids on the block, throwing rocks at clusters of beehives, and running. At the time, I thought I could get away. And really and truly, that spirit of adventure is still with me today. Just 2 weeks ago, my husband found a huge bumblebee nest down by our pond. And I mean a big bumblebee nest. They were everywhere, swarming. So I had the bright idea, well, let's just go get them. Let's go get those bumblebees. So we went down there. I didn't realize that bees are attracted to dark colors. I had on a black shirt, and I was in my bedroom, my pajamas and bedroom slippers. So I went down there. I was really prepared. But I went down there with a can of wasp spray, bee spray. He had one too. And he said, well, I'll get you back. You go over you go over there and spray the bushes. And like a dummy, I walk over there and I'm spraying and I'm trying to dodge. You can't get away from bees. But again, it's that fun mentality, that sense of adventure, that abandon of fear, and probably a lot of stupidity too. I went out there and decided I was going to try to get these bumblebees. Well, of course, they attacked. And they jumped on me, and I was getting stung. And once you get stung once, they release that pheromone, and they all come. So I tried to run, and I fell down in the hayfield. It's funny, actually. It hurt a lot, but it is funny. I fell down in the hayfield, and so my husband's trying to beat bees off of me. I'm stung, and by then I'm mad too. So I get up and I finally go into the house, and my arms are really, really messed up, and I'm not feeling so good. But by then I'm really mad. I really want to get those bees out of the ground. Okay? A bumblebee nest, they dig a hole, and all of their offspring are in the ground. Okay? It looks interesting. I've never seen anything like it. In fact, I'd never seen a bumblebee nest before, but by golly, I was going to see one today. So I decided we would get the tractor that had an enclosed cab. We probably should have gone in that direction in the first place. But we took the tractor down, and we had the forks on the end, and so we started digging, flipping up that dirt in the nest all around the cypress trees. And those bees were crazy. They were swarming. And so I'd open the tractor door and I'd spray a little bit. And finally, we got them. So I asked my husband, I said, okay, you cover me. I'm going to get down and I'm going to go over there with this shovel and I'm going to dig real quick and I'm going to run back. So now this is after I've been stung multiple times. But we got them. So I've got my own little trophy of bumblebee nest, larvae, eggs. They're like these thick leather pouches. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it, but yeah, dug them up. And I say that to say, sense of adventure, well, things that you do may not always be the best. They may not always be wise, but you got to enjoy life. And you got to laugh at yourself sometimes and the things that you do. But I can honestly say that my life has been an adventure. I've done a lot of things. My career started at a community college. I started teaching the sciences, biology, anatomy, physiology, microbiology, zoology, you name it. And even then, teaching my students, I had a sense of adventure. In zoology, we had a project. We were going to I wanted students to bring in roadkill for extra credit, and we were going to dissect roadkill. So I had a student that brought in a beaver. This beaver, before they brought it in, this was folks on the baseball team. These guys tricked their buddy and put the beaver up in their Jeep behind the steering wheel. You know, as a joke. These were students that played baseball, just having a good time. And then the next day they brought this beaver in, and we had it out back behind the lab, and we started dissecting it. And some of the students, once we cut into that thing, you know, they eat wood. And I had students that were gagging, and anyway, I just found humor in that. But it was a learning experience. They were able to actually learn the anatomy of this animal, and it was fun. My biology students, when we would start talking about fish, I brought fishing poles. We went to the pond and we caught fish, and we brought them back and we dissected them. I was the fun teacher. But I was a good teacher. I really was. And I loved the students. I truly enjoyed them and their unique personalities and the life that they brought to the college. So I started as a teacher and then had an opportunity later to move into administration. Now, I never had aspirations to move into administration. I just didn't think about it. I just lived for the day, enjoyed what I was doing, whatever that was, and did the best job that I could possibly do in whatever role I had. Well, I had an opportunity to move into administration, and I said, well, I'll take it. It was in e-learning. At the time, it was called distance learning, and I truly enjoyed that role. From there, I moved into instruction. And then my president said, I need somebody to do institutional research and effectiveness. And I said, I told a colleague 2 weeks earlier that I'll never do that job. I wouldn't do that for anything. Well, the president said, I need you to do this. And I said, well, okay, I'll do it. So I did. And from there, I just continued to grow and learn and enjoy whatever I was doing as I moved forward. And as part of that process, I developed a particular leadership style. And I wanted to share that with you. My style looks like this more than the food group model. My style looks like this, where I'm in the middle and we've got people that surround me. Good people, great people, who have unique skills and perspectives that they bring to the table. I am immensely proud of all of you for being a part of this team, my team. And I'll tell you that I couldn't do what I do by myself. We do it together. We do it as a team. And this is my style of leadership. One of the things that I really want us to do this year is to really focus on connecting across departments. I want each and every one of you to feel comfortable talking to me as a person, because my philosophy is, hey, we're adults. You don't work for me, you work with me. And we've all got to understand that we work with each other. We're all after the same thing, and we work together in sync to accomplish our mission. That's my leadership style. I let people do what they do best. I want people to be able to think and strategize. I don't want to have to give people the answer. I want you to come up with possible solutions. And then let's work through the best one and make a decision. So I am so proud to have all of you as part of this team. Some of the things that I hold dear, the things that I like, and the things that are most important to me, one of those is making a difference, making a positive difference in the lives of people. Family. There's nothing more gratifying than going to work with your family. And that's what we are here. Whether you realize it or not, you spend more time with us together than you do at home. This is your family. And we take care of one another and respect one another. I really like a can-do attitude. I want to know how we can do something. Not that we can't or why we can't. If there is truly an obstacle why we may not be able to do it as it currently is, then let's fix it. Let's remove the obstacle. Let's change what we're doing. Let's think outside the box and find a way to make it happen. Let me see. I think I need a tutorial. Some of the things that I don't like status quo. I don't like things just to be stagnant, slow, old, stale. I want us to be cutting edge and innovative and fresh with new ideas. I don't like office drama. I don't like gossip. I don't like fighting between departments or personnel, because again, we're a family. We can have disagreements, sure, that's normal, that's fine. But we certainly want to maintain a level of respect for one another as individuals and colleagues. And one thing I really dislike the most is for a ball to drop. We're all part of a team. We're trying to take the ball across that goal, and we cannot drop the ball. We cannot drop it. It's important that we all work together to keep that ball in play. As a team, we have got to have people who care about each other, who care about our mission and what we're doing, who care about the students. We've got to have people who try. Sometimes you may think, golly, that's going to be really hard. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. But just try. Just try. If you feel like you have obstacles or barriers and you're not sure if you can't do it, ask for help. Together we can do it. Together we'll find a way. And the only way we can do that is if we communicate. We've got to communicate. And I know, I can do a better job. I can. And I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do a better job to communicate with all of you, with all of our teammates. Some key considerations. Told you I used the template. Key considerations. I really want you to know these things. I believe about looking for barriers. Look at them. Don't wait for them to pop up. Look for them. Is there a better way of doing this? And if so, let's fix it. Let's don't leave it as it is just because it is. That's status quo. Let's look for a better way always. Again, I work with people. And the thing that's most important to me is I value unique perspectives. I love it when Kel comes in the room and we're talking about legislation or a strategy and he says, Dr. Mayfield, I don't know. There's a little bit of history here, or he gives me a perspective that I may not have. That goes for everybody. All of you do that. And I need that. I need that because I don't know everything. I can't make the best decision without your perspectives and your input. But to get it, you've got to be willing to freely give it to me. And that, my friends, is one reason that we have got to develop and strengthen relationships with one another. I want all of us to feel comfortable with one another as an agency family. Comfortable enough to be able to share concerns, to share ideas across departments. Because that will take us to the next level. Some of my quotes, now I made these up last night again, 10 o'clock on the fly, so sorry I missed the deadline. These are some of the quotes that came to mind as I was working on this late last night. It's okay to make mistakes. I mean, we all make them. We're all human. We're going to make mistakes. The key is, don't not act. Don't not do something. Don't not take action because you're afraid you're going to make a mistake. Because that's worse than making the mistake. It's far better to have tried to make a difference than not at all. And again, that comes from my heart. This is something that I wrote down as I look at our vision, our mission, our core values. Some of the things that we do, we all demonstrate leadership. We all demonstrate as a team innovation, alignment with the way the state is going, what the state needs, what the community colleges need to do their jobs better, to serve the student. Sometimes we hear a lot of chatter about this, about that, but do we ever hear, we're doing this for the student because it makes a student better. It improves a person and their quality of life. Sometimes we don't, but we need to think about that. Partnerships. Partnerships are huge. When I came, I can tell you our agency did not have partnerships between other state agencies. We were lacking in that regard. We may have had a few superficial ones, but nothing meaningful. Partnerships help us leverage what we're doing. It helps us bring resources to the table. And we've been able to do that with the work that all of you are doing. So, as I mentioned earlier, to strengthen what we're doing, to build strong partnerships, we've got to strengthen our relationships, respect one another, and be open to communication and free exchange. Knowing, look, if you come to my office and say, hey, I got an idea, I'm not going to tell you, oh, that's a dumb idea. You know, you're fired. That is not my leadership style. I want to hear your ideas. I want us to talk through ideas and find a way. That's a great thing. Here's another one of my quotes that came to mind. A drive and passion for the hunt is fun. You may not know, but I love to hunt and fish. And I love to hunt and fish for more than just wildlife. I like to hunt and fish for money, Kenneth. You never know what you might accomplish. In fact, working with Kenneth and partners, we've been able to bring in more than $30 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And there's more to come. The momentum that we've built so far is what is going to propel us into a future of success. Interesting fact, our agency has doubled in the last 4 years. Believe it or not, it has. We've been able to expand with expanding grant opportunities. We've been able to expand through partnership opportunities with our early child efforts. Having accomplished departments is good. Yeah, it's good. But having great people who enjoy the work is the key. As I mentioned earlier, I love what I do. Every day is a joy. It's fun to come to work and interact with the MCCB family. I love it. My husband sometimes says, boy, I wish you'd stay home a little bit more. But hey, this is home, this is family, and I enjoy the work. These are some of the things that we've done. I'm just going to run through these fast. I sat at the table late last night just thinking about some of the things that, wow, are really innovative and that we've actually, as an agency team, been responsible for starting. And these have really picked up in momentum and expanded and grown and really have had an impact on a person's life. The early child system, My Best, apprenticeships, Complete to Compete. If you didn't know, we already have 1,184 degrees in just a short period of time. Our legislative accomplishments in working with the colleges. Another quote, if you don't try, you make little progress. Well, we're trying, and we're making progress. National Credentials Initiative, the Smart Start Pathway, our new face of athletics. Steve? Audit and reporting improvements, Raul and team. Workforce system, I and Shalika and Dexter. We've been working really hard to make improvements, and we're really doing some great things. A willingness to look at the present lens perspective for setting a vision for the future. If you don't know where you are, how do you know where you want to go? So you've got to look for opportunities. Some other accomplishments. Expanding CTE, career and technical education, has grown immensely in the last 4 years. Articulation pathways with the high school, with our 4-year partners. Centralized professional development, human resources, social media and marketing. All of these things have become a reality. A good return on investment is never easy, but it's always right because it always helps people. Some other things, expanding access. The Mississippi Virtual Community College now is moving into the workforce and professional development realm. We're also moving into contractual types of arrangements and unique partnerships. The website, Shaylin, Krista, we've been working on, I know. See, I told you it was late last night. Y'all will be blown away by the website. Our re-entry efforts that Matthew and Rachel and others have been working on, college access, IT infrastructure, Ray, Tina, I mean, we moved the data system. We are forging ahead by leaps and bounds. Take action to make a difference. Other things, travel process improvements, electronic travel, leave purchasing. We're doing things differently. We're doing things better. Fiscal responsibility and clean audits, Jason. We've even moved the board forward with the way that we prepare board members and use technology. We have our comprehensive wellness program. Shayna, Cynthia, you know, we just received an award for one of the healthiest workplaces in Mississippi. That was last week. That's amazing. Dream big, because anything is possible when we share a collective vision. So, I'm at the end of my presentation. One thing that I want us to do this year, I want us to collectively determine an operational vision and mission for this agency that fits an innovative approach that involves alignment and leveraging resources. I want us to work together to define what that will be, and then I want the departments to then be able to establish your own goals that align with this operational vision. I don't want to have to tell you, in fact I won't tell you, what your departmental or your divisional goals and objectives should be. That comes from you with your unique perspective and skill sets. You will design that and implement those things. So, there are 3 things that I want you all to do, each and every one of you, all of you. I want you to develop a solid working relationship with your counterparts at each institution. I know sometimes that may be challenging at times, but I promise you it's doable. And it goes back to getting to know your counterpart as a person and feeling free to just call them up and say, hey, Joe, I've got a question for you. How do you think this should go? Or can you help me with a little bit of perspective from the college side of the room? You've got to feel comfortable and develop that relationship. And boy, I can tell you, I've had to do it. I've done it with the presidents. Most of you have been here long enough to know that we had kind of a rocky road in the very beginning. But we had to understand one another, the charge of this agency, and then give each other the mutual respect as people to move the agency forward, but also to help the colleges move themselves forward. The second challenge, I want you to look for opportunities to align departments, across departments. In other words, if you're doing some work on a website and you need to interact between departments, I encourage that. Just because it's a website meeting or website work doesn't mean that Kim shouldn't be a part of that. Everybody should be a part of the discussion. Everybody should feel free to listen or to provide feedback as team members, but certainly as family. Look for opportunities to remove barriers, to make things better and increase access for students. That goes back to what I mentioned before. Look at what you're doing. Think about it and say, wow, is there an easier way? Is there a better way? Is there something I can do to remove a particular barrier or help a college overcome a particular barrier? Help a college understand what they need to do to make this better for the student. We have to lead. We lead ourselves, we lead one another, and we have to lead the colleges as well. That is our charge. And the goal is to help people. So better together. That is why we're here. A roadmap to a successful MCCB, community and junior college system, and certainly a stronger Mississippi. Thank you for what you do. I am so proud of each and every one of you. And I go home every night. I tell my husband, golly, I got a great team. Actually, I say, I got a kick-ass team. And they rock. And you do rock. So let's keep that momentum going. Thank y'all.
Okay, before everyone heads to the break, I have a few things. So we have door prizes, and go ahead and get your ticket out. I'm going to let Dr. Mayfield draw for the first one, and whoever wins, I'll meet you over there by the door prizes. That's before the break.
There's some really good ones too. All right.
Okay, you ready? 467331. Okay. Congratulations, Sandy. Two more things. We're going to start at 9:45. We have one fewer presentation than we expected, so we're good with time. So have a break, come back at 9:45. We'll get started at that point. Those of you presenting after the break, you can look back at Lisa or up here at Cynthia or myself, and we will be holding the signs to tell you when you're at 3 minutes, when you're at 1 minute, and when you need to get off the stage.
See, I violated every rule. I promise. I didn't even look at them. I do it.
She didn't see my laser-like stares.
Oh, I felt them though.
And thank you to the Urban Childhood Academy for providing breakfast today.
How's it going, man? Since I'm not a real coffee person. How are you?
I knew me. That's all right there. Luana. Oh, boy. How you doing today? I said, you don't feel like something wrong. That's what I had said and stuff. Thank you. We picked this road. Good morning. How are you?
Human services will come along with us and stuff like that, all that stuff. Well, you never know.
When I think he was at home straight for like I'm going to
First day, if we went home the first day, okay. I hope he's taking me Mayfield's son, the director, Matt decided to go on vacation. One of the things where they were done, but they were for something. So they got a little bit of that. And that was what that was not expected to come and ask for. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not, I didn't ever get to ask for that. I was prepared for that.
nothing, but it will hold. If you braid it in a roll, when it's like going out.
Excuse me.
I'm about to right now. I know you backed up.
So much for wellness.
Well, you can actually plug it in. You can do wire. Oh, gotcha. I have no idea what it
I've been seeing your receipts all the time. Yes, yeah.
making sure he didn't agree to
Everybody.
Sometimes we need one as well.
We love
I need one.
They're the most awesome. Yeah, just inside their own.
So Latoya is passing around tickets. If you didn't get one for the door prizes earlier, make sure you flag her down and she'll give you one. And you get one, and if you win, you don't get any more. So, without further ado, finance.
So this is better than the introduction, but thank you anyway. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jason Carter, the Deputy Executive Director for Finance. Can everybody hear me? I'm going to try to talk loudly so I can walk around some. I think I know everybody in the room. I missed the introductions earlier, so if you don't know me, speak to me afterwards if you would, so I can put names. When you do payroll, it's always good to know everybody's name and everything. And so I've been with the agency about 16 years. All in finance, except 2 misguided years working with Dexter and Workforce. And no, if I do this guy on his part, no. He might want to talk about that later. I've had a great time and it's gone quick, and this is a great place to work, as Dr. Mayfield has mentioned. We have a great group of folks that I'll introduce in a minute. But I'm going to quote Dexter since we're supposed to put a quote in our presentation. So I'm going to quote Dexter at every board meeting. Dexter, before he does his workforce report, stands up and he says, the finance division is the hardest working division in the agency, followed by my division. So I just thank you, Dexter, for kudos on that. I appreciate that.
And how many of y'all believe I say that?
There you go, Marilyn. Marilyn's in there, she's heard it. So just to tell you a little bit about the finance division and what we do, we're responsible for approving budgets, expenditures for the agency here in the administrative portion, and then for the community college support budgets. We manage those too. Oh, quick here. All right, so here's our team. Me, that's a very old picture, a lot skinnier. Jacob, you want to stand up, Jacob? Jacob is our early childhood accountant. Payroll.
Let's see that picture right there.
Oh, yeah, that's that. We won't say how old that picture is. Shane is our grants accountant and benefits coordinator. Shane, we were talking this morning. Shane's been here 14 years or 13 years. She's been here a while, so one of our longer ranking employees. Veronica. Jeff, you want to explain the hat or? He's no explanation. Okay. Cheryl. Cheryl, have to know your purchasing needs and regular. Our newest employee, Russell, is replacing Holly. And then Nancy, who is our contract worker working PGG 5 with Austin and Jim and crew. So, raise your hand, I don't know you. All right. So some of our responsibilities that we're responsible for: budgeting, obviously responsible for that; financial reporting to with colleges, with different state entities, federal grantors, people we sub-grant with, and then disbursements to colleges. And we work with the audit team, Raul and Davida and Beverly. Once students are counted dispersed funds through the funding formula, they're appropriated for the colleges. That's a large part of what I do here. So the administrative budget here at the state agency, this is what most of y'all care about more than anything. This affects y'all. And so it's made of state support funds that are appropriated from the legislature, federal funds we get from grants, Department of Education, PG5 are our 2 biggest, and then special funds we bring in through fees for virtual community college, proprietary fees, some workforce training funds, and the CTE money we bring in. And this kind of gives you a snapshot. I appreciate Russell put this presentation together for us last week as I was finishing up budgets, and I appreciate his help in doing this. Let's just give you an idea of the money we brought in 2019, the year just ended, about $84 million in revenue. We had authority in our budget, spend about $128 million if we had received more grants, and we tried to up that in the past couple of years. Dr. Mayfield, as Kenneth's working hard, trying to bring more grant money into the agency. This is estimated revenues for 2020. This is in our appropriation bill. General funds and EF funds relatively stay the same, but we have more
money out there in special funds for those grants as they come in. Some of the financial reporting, we report monthly financial reports to the board, executive director, program managers. Gap packages are due this time of year. That's going to be Jed's job. He'll be working on that. The MBR reports, we just submitted 16 of our 17 budgets. We're working on consolidated now. Do a lot of ad hoc reports. We do manpower, payroll, federal grant reporting, the leave, equipment inventory is under Veronica's window. We're working on SRAB reports now. We do IPS reporting. And we do a lot of reporting for the legislature. We do a lot of requests, and Kel works real close with our division in putting a lot of those things together. So we use fund accounting here at State Board. We have 7 funds. You can see general fund, federal special, proprietary, two workforce funds, EEF funds, and federal funds. When we process POs, payroll receipts, travel payroll, things like that, payables, we report about funded magic and submit it to DFA. Sometimes they pay them, sometimes they reject them. Y'all hear us complain about that a lot, but DFA is our financial oversight agency, basically. So, purchasing travel, purchase orders, payment balance receipts, all come to us. We do them electronically too. I never said that. So DFA has final control of what we do pretty much. Just kind of mention that. And we did have a quote in here, so I didn't need to do my extra quote. I never went worth a dime anymore. I showed you there. That's one of my favorite. This is a slide to talk a little bit about the support appropriation we get and managing the funding formula and things. I think it's hard to read the writing on here, but I think the chart will tell you what you need to see here. The appropriation, it's hard to see across the bottom, but you can see where the spikes are. 9 and 10 and 11, we had huge state cuts in the appropriation. 16 and 17, where it spikes back up, the blue spikes back up. You're seeing more cuts. We were cut $28 million between 16 and 17 for the colleges, so the funding formula is taking a big spike. And I think we have a slide on here we'll see in a minute. Well, yeah, here we go. Where the tuition, when appropriations go down, tuition goes up. And you can follow that across from 2000 all the way 2009, all the way 2016 and 17. It's a reciprocal effect. 2 minutes? Okay. It goes quick. Nope. But these are kind of things that we track and keep up with in finance division or reporting like that. Would affect colleges when tuition increases and appropriations go down and effects of those things. So just to see it in writing here, some of the cuts we've had the past couple of years, been significant. You can see at the bottom though, in 20, we did get an increase in funding formula of $14 million, but most of that money was fixed for direct costs. They were capital expenses, which were directed to that, and about $6 million for the retirement increase. So there was no money really to go to funding formula for salary increases or new programs or anything like that that the schools need. This is just kind of give you an idea of what the appropriation bill looks like. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the one for the colleges, but you can see the top line is the funding formula. So for 20, the colleges have $193 million appropriated for funding formula, and then some of the line items below that are in the bill to distribute to the colleges also. But the top number, $193 million, is an important number, and that's what DeVita and Berryville will go down to students, and we'll distribute money based on that number. This kind of shows you just the revenue for the colleges came in. The most recent year we had was 18. General funds, state support total was $246 million. And it shows a lot of money comes in through us as an agency, career and tech reimbursement, see your workforce projects down there, and some money that flows through us. This is a good example too of that. You see the salaries of that money. The schools spend about 67% of what they get in salaries, so there's not a lot of fluff in their budgets. Most of it's going to a personnel or whatever. We had a slide of our budget. Maybe I took that out, but I was going to show. Well, it's not in there. I just want that taken out. But if the money our agency brings in, just like put this in context, and I tell the presidents this quite often. Of our budget here, the $82 million you saw that was out there, 80% 85% of that goes back out. Oh, I'm out of time. Okay, goes back out to the college. But that's important to understand because, I think a lot of times, Dr. Mayfield mentioned the presidents, I think a lot of times they wonder what our job, our role here is. But basically, the money that comes in here, we manage. 85% of it goes back to the colleges for their use. So, and I think the last slide was our contact information. I don't have time for questions unless somebody has one quick. No quick question? All right.
So I will have these slides to share out with you all in case you want to go back through the numbers and really discuss that more fully with Jason later on. So,
2 weeks.
Next up is Kel for the legislative portion of the day. So let's welcome Kel to the stage.
My family doesn't get excited when I show up.
We're your family.
They'll like me better than my wife. I actually don't have any slides. I was at the beach last week with my family.
I like you this week.
I actually wasn't supposed to be here today, but so I apologize for that. I am Kel Smith. I handle communications and legislative services. I've been with the agency for 11 years now, and I had a miscommunication with Crystal. I thought I had an hour, and so I'm going to try to boil 200 slides that I created into about 2 minutes, just so we can get back on track. My two main responsibilities are communications and what I'll just call legislative stuff. Communications means I'm responsible for all media inquiries that the agency receives. If y'all have any media folks, call y'all. Please, reach out to me before y'all say anything, just so that we're kind of all on the same page. I don't think that's ever happened, but just that's a good practice to have. I create the agency publications such as the monthly newsletter that we hand out to our board and send to presidents and other outside entities, partners. Every year we're required by state law to submit an annual report to the legislature. That's due at the end of December for each year, so I handle that. 5-year strategic plan is due to Legislative Budget Office and DFA mid-July, so we just got finished with that about 2 weeks ago. That takes a lot of time and effort with us and the colleges. As with most things at the agency, we can't get anything accomplished without working closely with the colleges, so we partner with them on both their strategic plan and ours as well. Any legislative talking points that we may do throughout the session, and then other materials to assist staff. Missy Saxton, who's not here today, she's Dr. Mayfield's executive assistant. She and I work closely to oversee the agency Twitter account. And I think the right word is to handle. My wife told me that's what it was this morning anyway. I'm not the most technically savvy guy. MCCB_info. Y'all give us a follow. And Dr. Mayfield sent out an email a few weeks ago. Any kind of information y'all have that y'all want us to push out on the social media channel, please send to Missy or myself, and we'll put it out there. The biggest part of my job is the legislative piece, and from January to April each year, except for next year, January to May, Dr. Mayfield, Dr. Mackey, the presidents were all tied down to the Capitol pretty much the entire time, Jason included, in the second half of the session, whenever they start talking about money and all that, $6.2 million that we get and $245 million that colleges get. Track all legislation that applies to both our agency and the colleges as well. Attend various committee meetings during the session, and also communicate positions to key groups. Definitely keeps me on my toes. It's a team effort. It's hard to track many thousands of bills that are out there. So during the session, I'll ask one of y'all how will this impact or affect y'all's areas. So thank y'all for that. A lot of times, I'll get with y'all about random requests that I get from either the media, legislators, elbow people. So thank y'all for that and for the hard work. We definitely are a family and a team. Last thing I'll leave you with, anybody know what tomorrow is? Election Day. Tomorrow we take the first step in electing 174 legislators, 8 statewide officials, and lots of county supervisors and judges. So polls are open from 7 to 7 tomorrow. Y'all be sure and take the time to go vote. So thank y'all for everything. Anybody got any questions for me? If not, thank you.
Next step is athletics. Woo!
Let's play ball.
Lean in.
Obviously, I didn't take the course. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I'm fairly new on the block. We have a lot of people that's been here 10, 12, 14 years. Well, I've been here for 4 months. My 4 months have been a great experience and a great learning curve. And I've had a lot of good support in this short time. So our department, athletics and affiliated activities. And you may want to say, what does that mean? Well, so this is what we do, okay? Oversight of the following sports and activities. Football. Football practice just started officially today, okay? Which means I probably have a lot of phone calls and emails waiting for me. So football practice started today. First game is scheduled for August 29th. Okay, so we are underway with the football season. Next thing that we oversee, men's and women's basketball, men's and women's tennis, men's and women's soccer. Then we have baseball, softball. This was a surprise to me before I took this job. I have never been to a rodeo event in my life, but trust me, I plan on attending a lot of rodeos. And then cheerleaders. All of our schools, all of our institutions have cheerleading teams. And bands. We have great bands out there. It's incredible. Another thing that I learned about our member institutions, the number of bands. We have schools that have bands of 100+ members, which is huge. And then we have some emerging sports that are coming up. One being track and field. We have 3 schools that have track and field. And then the next thing that's coming up is volleyball. So these are all the sports and activities that we oversee. So who are we and what's our mission? This is our mission. It's the vision of the MACJC to foster a state program of intercollegiate activities in an environment that supports equitable opportunities consistent with the educational objectives of member colleges. Now, what does that really mean? We have a lot of presidents and it's very competitive. Very competitive. So, let's say hello to our team members. There's myself. And then there's Marilyn. Marilyn is my much better half. And then I consider all of our 300 administrators, meaning athletic directors, coaches, and about 2,000 student athletes. That's our team. But this is me, this is the vision that I have of myself. Running out, being cheered on. And then this is the vision that I have of Maryland on the softball field, being a great pitcher. And then here's all of our support staff. So our responsibilities, number 1, to ensure that our members adhere to the NJCAA. The NJCAA is the National Junior College Athletic Association, and that's our umbrella national organization that we have to abide by their rules and their regulations. Responsibility number 2, ensure that our members adhere to MACJC guidelines. So we have the national guidelines, and then we have created some
some Mississippi-specific guidelines that we have to adhere to. And then our third responsibility, ensure that our student athletes are participating in a safe and competitive environment. And I'm going to tell you that takes a lot of work. We have a lot of athletic trainers that work extremely hard, along with medical people, along with staff, to make sure that we have a safe, competitive environment. And then number 4, promote the MACJC, including our student athletes, coaches, administrators, and our member institutions. So we have this great product that we call athletics, but we have to make sure that we promote it. We like to see our student athletes move from 2-year junior colleges to 4-year schools. We like to support all of our administrative staff, our coaches, our athletic directors, etc. Those are our main 4 responsibilities. Some of the major programs that we've taken on. So when I first started this job, I thought it was going to be a nice, easy job. But one thing I made a point to do, I made a point within my first 60 days to visit every institution, meet with every coach, every athletic director, every president. And this is what we came up with. So MAJC stands for the Mississippi Association of Community and Junior Colleges. And then we have our MCCB Athletic Management training system. So first, MACJC, what we looked at was MACJC, which stands for, again, Mississippi Association of Community and Junior Colleges. And all of in the names of all of our institutions, nobody mentions junior colleges anymore. We're all community colleges. So we have taken on, at a suggestion, that we change the name for athletic purposes. So we're going through a rebranding process in athletics. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the rebranding. Also, athletic management system, working with our IT staff, we're developing a system to track all of the institutional aid, scholarship aid that's given to our student athletes. And then we have our handbook that has all of our rules and regulations. We're going through a process of evaluating that handbook. So I'm going to talk about a couple of quick things. So with the MACJC branding, consideration of a name change, okay? Again, we're no longer considered junior colleges. We are community colleges. I presented a new logo to our presidents last month and wait for approval on that new logo. And also, we developed a website for athletics. We also presented some designs of a website to our presidents. And then our system, which we call MAMS, that system will help us to track athletic scholarships. It'll help us to verify those scholarships, along with certifying and monitoring for compliance. So we're working very closely, got 3 minutes, working very closely to get that system on the ground. And then our handbook, we have a handbook that has Mississippi rules and NJCAA rules. We're combining that rule book. I have a draft of that rule book that's going to go out to our athletic directors this week. Because of the sample of what our website potentially will look like, we presented this design of the athletic website to the presidents last month, waiting for their approval. This is a screenshot of our management system that we work with IT on. Again, this will help us to track all of our individual student athletes, all of the financial aid that's given to them, all of the financial scholarships that's given to them. The reason why this is important is it's going to make sure that we are in compliance with the NJCAA. We always talk about impressions. Impressions, this is very important, extremely important. So we look at how many people see athletics through all of our websites, and that's the websites of all of our schools. And then we look at all the social media platforms. And then we look at all of our schools are doing a great job with live streaming their events. When I looked at all this information, total number that stood out, unbelievable. 77 million impressions. 77 million impressions that our institutions bring about through athletics. That is an incredible number. Now, that doesn't mean that 77 million people have seen us. That means that Steve Martin may have gone to social media, and I may have looked at it 100 times. So it's the number of times that people have gone to look at all of these platforms. 77 million. That is an incredible number that our institutions have. So one of my heroes, college coach by the name of Jim Bell Battle. He coached at North Carolina State, won a national championship in basketball in 1983. A lot of you may have heard of Coach Bell Battle and his, he has a great quote, never give up. But people always just see that part of the quote. What's important is the rest of the quote. It says, failure and rejection are only the first steps to succeeding. So sometimes we're going to fail, sometimes we're going to get rejected. But we have to be able and not afraid to take those first steps and not be afraid to make decisions. And that's what we're doing when we look at athletics. We're looking at the big picture, we're thinking out the box, and we're really moving forward. Not that we plan to make mistakes, but we have to think forward in order for us to succeed. So that's a quote from one of my heroes, Jim Bell Battle. Now, she said it's time. Any questions, any thoughts? Guess I'm done. Thank you.
So next up we have Marilyn and Sandy presenting academics and student affairs. And Kim too. Convenient.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Marilyn with the Academic Student Affairs. Also, I have a dual role with Steve as well. Audrey couldn't be with us today, so I'm presenting on her behalf. Our division includes Academic Student Affairs, which is Audrey and myself, and then Adult Education, Sandy Chris, and then Proprietary Schools, Kim and Al. And this is our team members, which I just mentioned of. And I'll let Sandy introduce her team members.
So I'm Sandy Chris. I'm the director for Adult Education High School Equivalency. Bronwyn Robertson. Bronwyn, wave everybody. Bronwyn is our Smart Start Program Specialist. Carla Causey is our Program Specialist for Monitoring and Technology. Beth is somewhere in the south of France right now. She couldn't be here today. Oh, she's in Spain, excuse me. Sierra's out on medical leave, and Megan is registering children today, so they couldn't be with us. But these are our team members. So.
Academic Student Affairs, we work with the academic officers as well as Student Affairs organization. We maintain the uniform course numbering system, the articulation agreement that's statewide, reverse transfer, bill credit, bill enrollment, developmental remediation, and we work with the divisions listed under that: financial aid, admissions, registers, and resident life, campus safety, and student development. As of fall 2018, we have 72,653 students enrolled, 60.9% academic, 17% dually enrolled, 31.7% enrolled at least one remedial course, and then 66.8% enrolled full-time. Of those, there are 61.1% female, 45% receive Pell, and then the average age is 22, and the average ACT is 19.4. We have a statewide articulation agreement with the 15 community junior colleges and the 8 public community colleges. It helps with advisement. It's an online tool. It helps for student advisement as well as setting up a contract with universities, and they can go on there and be able to fill out financial aid as well. This is something that Audrey's been working on with IHL, and it's Compete to Compete. It's where it's a statewide initiative that focuses on encouraging Mississippi adults who have completed some college but no degree to return and get what they started. So far, they've awarded 479 associate degrees,
and 705 bachelor's degrees. And that currently 614,000 and C2C grants have been awarded. Part of the qualifications is at least 21 years of age, have not earned a post-secondary degree, out of college for at least 2 years, and they can get $500 per semester. They can apply to prior institutional, I'm sorry, institutional debt, and then also can be applied to current tuition and fees.
Kim?
And this is Kim.
I doubt y'all have any trouble hearing me. Thank you, Rachel. Proprietary school is part of the Academic Student Affairs Group. Yes, it is I'm sure everybody has an opinion about proprietary schools. I know I did. I've been in proprietary schools for over 20 years in some way, shape, or form, from student to teacher. I have a couple of my degrees from proprietary school. So if I ever finish the dissertation, that'll be the completed second one. We have our own commission. It's a group of 5 individuals, 4 of which come from the community college area, 1 comes from the industry. We have our own commission. We meet every 2 months, 6 times a year. As the director, I review all paperwork that is submitted for the proprietary schools that submit to the commission. We review all programs, instructors, as well as we investigate all complaints that come through our office. Presently, we have 41 registered proprietary institutions with us. 10 of those are nationally accredited. That means they're Title IV schools. But the largest number we have right now that are registered with the Commission on Proprietary Schools are 31 non-accredited institutions. These range from everything from professional truck driving, to phlebotomy, to certified nursing assistant. All of those schools report to me. I review all programs, like I said, instructors. They also have admissions agents that are registered. We have a set of rules and regulations that proprietary not only has conduct, but the way they do admissions and the way that they work with us. I will tell you that last year we took in enrollment numbers that the proprietary schools will have 4,000 to 6,000 students go through with their institutions in a 12-month period. And that's average. If you have any students or anybody that comes up to you and says they're having an issue with a proprietary school, or they have a problem, my office is the one that you contact. We also have a list of closed institutions, as well as some schools that we actually have transcripts for, like the Virginia colleges. I have contact information and can provide closed school records for all of our institutions for any student that actually went to a proprietary school that actually closed over the years. So please let them know that our office exists and that we're here to help them in any way. People have asked me before, who do I work for? My first statement is always the citizens of the state of Mississippi that attend our proprietary school. So we're here to help them whenever they need it, so please let them know that we exist.
And I'm sure I'm running out of time quickly, so you'll have to probably look at some of the slides later, but we are a federal funded program out of the Department of Education. We fall under a tier of the Office of Career and Technical and Adult Education, and the Community College Board is the agency that disperses all those federal funds. So we have federal funds of about $6.4 million plus our 25% state match. And our goal is our responsibility is to ensure that we're meeting all of the requirements of the federal grant. We are to disperse those funds to our programs. We have 20 funded programs. We have 15 community colleges, a few K-12 programs, as well as the Department of Corrections. We ensure or help students who haven't finished their high school diploma. We help them earn their high school diploma. All right, I've got 3 minutes. Oh, Lordy, there's no way to tell you everything. But compliance, monitoring, technical assistance, we provide professional development. We, again, have about 20 directors, about 350 instructors across the state. We have a new initiative right now, if you haven't seen it, it's called Skill Up Mississippi, and it was really to kind of rejuvenate our programs and to and help do some outreach for students who may have been through our programs before. We offer free instruction. Everything that we do is free. That's paid for by the federal grant. reading, writing, math. We offer English as a second language classes. Part of our role is to provide integrated education and training, which in Mississippi is called MyBest. Smart Start, and that's Bronwyn's responsibility. Smart Start is part of our Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, and that was built in to help people become employable. And so we work with students on their education as well as their employability skills to hopefully retain employment. And those are our performance outcomes as well. We also oversee high school equivalency testing. Since 2012, we've issued almost, you can say 28,276 high school equivalency diplomas. And since 2016, we've issued 5,747 Smart Start credentials. And that credential is good for 3 hours of college credit if a student is going to enroll in a community college, and that transcribe it, as well as 7,100 and 2 career readiness certificates through ACT. And I say equivalent, and I want to tell you guys this. I'm missing the slide. Maybe I took it out because we didn't have time. We offer 3 tests in the state of Mississippi, and I know my time is up. High school equivalency testing is the GED, TASC, as well as the HiSET. Thank you. We also have a competency-based, I know I'm trying to get it all out, high school equivalency testing, but it is equivalent. And one of the things that I need your help, and I know you know people out there who are struggling in school, who've dropped out. Please talk to us and let us know if we can contact them. They can go to our Skill Up Mississippi landing page, and that's all this is. It will connect to our website, Programs by County. If you click on that, they can actually click in any county and find the program that would provide educational support to them through a MyBest program, through adult ed program, through an ESL program. But anything they need, they can get through us, and we're trying to connect them to employment. So if you know somebody that doesn't have a high school diploma, please refer them to us. We've got great teachers and great staff who can help get them what they need to be successful. So, thank you.
All right, we have next up.
My quote is already over. So, because I'm taking my glasses off, no one can tell me it's time for me to sit down. Therefore,
I'm gonna double your time,
I'm
Dexter.
here till I sit down. And I feel that based on the mere fact that I graduated from high school in 1999 and I started working here in 1999, that I'll just say that there are some people in this room that were here when I got here. Okay? But from the hardest working division of Mississippi Community College Board, we are the Workforce, Career, and Technical Education Division. We did not use the format. We're unique and we are the trendsetters. Therefore, we don't use it, okay? All right, so, So we also have our own little design. It's called the spin. That's what I was waiting for. So as we move forward, instead of trying to put pictures up here, I could take 10 slides and put my whole division up. So other than early childhood, if you're in the workforce, career, and tech division, please stand. Please stand. Okay. So as you only because she went first now. So as you can see, we're a pretty large division. In fact, on site, I think we're the largest division that's that's presently in the Harvey Johnson building. The importance of workforce and CTE. Everybody knows that pretty much economic development is workforce and economic development is the big thing here in the state. We realize in order for us to grow as a state, what do we have to do? We're going to have to find future employers jobs, future employees jobs, and the future employers, because we serve on the governor's team to recruit new business into the state. And our role is twofold. Number one, we're trying to meet the needs of the immediate needs through workforce and short-term adult programs we have, but also future needs of the employer with CTE programs. So everybody's heard, and the only reason I put it up here because sometimes you all hear the word WIC funds and you probably just don't know what it is. But we on the workforce side, Shalika works mostly. We receive funding from the Unemployment Insurance Fund. It averages approximately $20 million each year that we put out back to the colleges. But we receive 0.15% or 1% of the taxable wages on the first $14,000 that comes here at MCCB for us to do workforce training. Now, I put this up here. I do not have a degree in mathematics. I do not have a degree in accounting. So if that figure is wrong and you mathematicians can figure it out, good for you. Right now, however, we do have a mandatory that we can keep $2 million carryover. So if there's an error in my mathematics right there, chalk it up MCCB. Finance division. All right, so in 2018, we had approximately 932 projects. And because we're an educational entity, we're going to have handouts for you all at the end of the presentation so you don't have to write any of this down. Not like y'all were writing it down anyway, but we do a lot of projects, so we get a lot of conversation and phone calls coming in that we just need y'all to know if they're talking about workforce. We do a lot of projects. We have 22,000 classes. One of the most interesting things about this is that we actually serve 551 companies, businesses, and industries in the state of Mississippi. So that says that through the college's effort locally, we are serving a lot of companies in the state. So when you talk about services, we do basic skills training, pre-employment training, customized skill training, quality management, and advanced. And we have approximately 32 mobile units. So we not only do training on the college campus, but we can do training in a plant. We also have 32 mobile units that we can move around the state of Mississippi from site to site. Some of them are a little raggedy, but some are still fairly good. Sandy mentioned the CRC. So right now, until Dr. Mayfield and somebody else find me another pot of money, right now, we're the total responsible for paying for all CRCs in the state of Mississippi. We actually pay one time for a student or a trainee to take the CRC, whether it's the Smart Start, whether it's basic skills, whether it's a person going to job, or whether a person is actually trying to enroll in college campus. We actually are the funding source for them to take that class. And I stress, high school students are not eligible to receive funding for this program. They're actually having to utilize SWIFT money or Department of Education money, or they got some other grant. All right, we're taking education. We got a little new logo this year that came from the Department of Education. So most of the time when you see CTE program, CTE normally you just think about that one person that we have in our staff, that's Val. But CTE encompasses not just the career tech division, but we also, under that same umbrella, have assessment, we have curriculum, right, and we have IT. I don't know where Mark went. But we also do the technology side under our CTE program. So the objective of CTE really not to give you all a whole lot. We're the credit side of the house on the college campus. Kim talked about the proprietary schools, so we offer everything from degrees in welding all the way down to CNAs or better yet LPN program presently. So those credit programs that's housed in the Office of Vocational and Technical Education actually come on our Career and Tech division. We actually probably, in one of the longest part in our presentation to our board meeting, all new program apps, whether it's a actual application for a new program or a new credit or a new certificate, we all have to approve that from our time. Turn them some big letters on there. All right, so when we talk about assessment, which is our newest division of assessment, one of the things that we want to make sure is that our CTE students or our trainees and workforce actually have a credential when they leave our program. You know, we're trying to make sure it's not like high school. Sometimes high schoolers kind of get a bad rep that, yeah, you may have graduated from high school, but what can you do? So on our side, on the CTE side, we're trying to make sure that we recognize national credentials, that our students are more successful if they receive those credentials and can transfer it anywhere they go. We also work with the credit by examination, dual credit program, IHL. We're partnering with all of those. Oh, I said all of those. But let's get to working better together. So instead of us talking about how we can work better here with MCCB, we're looking at it differently. We're looking at working better with partnering with SWIL, working with INSPAR, working with Mississippi Development Authority. We have projects and working with MDES, because that's where our funding comes. Even the Department of Human Services, we're all trying to figure out the best way that we can make Mississippi better. How can we expand on making sure students in our community college system have the best opportunity to get a job, to keep a job, and to be successful in their job? And what better way can we do that other than training? And that's what our division does.
Okay, we're about to take a break, but we have another door prize drawing, so I'm going to let Dexter draw. Grab your tickets, everybody.
And the winner is... Again. Did she say again?
I got you.
This is right, red. Oh, wait, we don't give her
I think it works that way.
Dr. Andrea Mayfield. The ticket is 46734.
That's fine.
Five.
Okay, 10-minute break. Let's get back in here at 10:48. We'll be starting at 10:48. So come forward at 10:48.
Nice. I did. I really enjoyed it. Who's relaxing? Good. Yeah, you needed that. I did. I really needed it.
I doubt it. Depends on how she is. She's doing fine, but depends on what they do. We'll see. If not, then we'll go by week to week.
I need that. I'm good. How about you?
Take no chance.
That's why I see you before that. Well, the final decision, what we put in my first was so we just asked for
That's going to cut the mustard.
Cat. They have When that you want sugar?
Oh, we got
Doing all the work.
Well, like our surprise agent love all my girls. I'm running from all these bags of peanuts. I bet you can run from right next to me. I'll tell her later if she'll get anything. I'll tell her if I notice. And I'm gonna do it for you. You already know. Okay, wait, when you go to the phone.
All right, I'm going to encourage everyone to come have a seat so we can get started with the next portion of the morning. Our first presentation after break is for our IT division, and I know how much we rely on them, so let's give a hand to Ray Smith.
Thank you very much. We're going to move through the presentation for the IT division. Thank goodness there was a break after Dexter to just kind of let the laughs and the fun and the information come down a little bit. And now you guys are in for a big letdown, so we'll take it as it comes. As an overview, we are I like to consider our division the cool division, okay? For obvious reasons. But it consists of three of us, Tina Bradley, Burnett, and myself, and we have responsibilities that include, of course, standardization of network infrastructure, not only for the MCCB, but also for the wide area network and internet access for the colleges. Our major programs include application development, and you all have met and also our major programs include our LAN, our wide area network, and so forth, and youth. Everybody knows Tina, okay? So that is, as I say, the backbone of all of our infrastructure here inside of MCCB. Information Technology Division, what we try to do is integrate shared technologies and best practices in working with the community colleges, CIOs, and IT directors. What we have is a common infrastructure that, and partnership that we work together on in trying to make sure that internet access, wide area network circuits, et cetera, all the cool, fun stuff that you don't want to hear details about are all about. But that's what we do. Of course, this is our team. Tina, Ivan, and myself. Our responsibilities include the installation and maintenance of computer networking systems for the community college board. And what that basically says in a nutshell is that every piece of hardware that we select or put into place has been thought through to be of a nature such that many applications can run a process effectively without having a lot of technical issues. Two, the creation and maintenance of system-wide applications for capturing, processing, and generating aggregate data collected from the colleges. And if you work with Ivan Burnett, any of you know that he works intently with the data collection pieces and a lot of the applications that send data from the colleges to our agency. And we're also responsible for major for regular meetings with the colleges, CIOs, and the IT directors on a monthly basis where we stay in contact with each other. They know what we're doing and we know what they're doing. Major programs include, of course, the day-to-day management of the MCCB LAN and the MC4 network. Now, the MC4 network, you'll hear more about that, but that stands for the Mississippi Community College Connectivity Consortium, which involves all 15 community colleges along with the board office in the management of the internet circuits and connectivity between the colleges and not only to the internet. We have certain services that we provide for the colleges, such as network address translation and domain name services. Some of our cloud services you're experiencing right now with our Office 365 email. We're also, over the weekend, we actually installed a new spam filter that is cloud-based, and the hope was that you didn't see any bad stuff leak through during that process. You know, sometimes you can send out a notification and say, if you receive anything bad, let us know. And I guarantee I'll get a bunch of, so we tried it this time. We just did it. And from what I can tell, it was a pretty good migration. We will be shutting down that hardware piece and running our spam filter from the cloud. So much for the technical stuff. Did you know, involving our division, that the first 3 employees of the quarter, 2 of them came from the IT division. You know, if it weren't for me, you know, we would be 100%. But it doesn't work that way. But we do have 2 good people that work in the agency outside for our division outside of myself, and that's Argentina. So go look at the board up there, and you'll see I have number 1. You'll see Tina number 3. Okay? You won't see me probably in the next so many years. The IT division is staffed by musicians, we're athletes, and we're also MMA fighters. You guys figure out who they are and figure that out. The Creating Futures Conference is one week out of the year that work doesn't seem like work, okay? It's a lot of fun. I don't think Tina liked that when I said it didn't seem like work, because she's doing a lot of that. But it's like it doesn't seem like work, but it's this opportunity to bring together IT, instruction, et cetera, all in one place, and sharing of ideas. This happens at the Board Lodge in March, and and we will have it going on this year also, with the date that's selected. What's that over there? Is that a trophy? Looks like a bowling trophy. Did I win the bowling trophy for the top bowler in the agency a year or so ago? I think I did. So much for that. Creating Futures. This will occur this year again. And again, this is 1 week out of the year that work does not seem like work. We encourage everybody who want to come. This year we will have some specific topics that we'll deal with. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and also artificial, augmented reality. It's going to be a big deal this time. So we encourage you to make sure that you show up for that conference. It's an agency-based conference. We partner with IHL, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Quotes to live by. Dr. Mayfield, when she first came to the agency, had a different view of things so far as working outside of the office and being able to do your work not necessarily from sitting at your desk. In other words, a lot of times, a lot of agencies, your workplace is considered starting when you come and sit at your desk at 8 o'clock in the morning and you work until 5 o'clock. Okay, you have been to work. Okay, but the way things are right now, and I think again with her vision, it's the idea that you can work from pretty much anywhere, and it's not a big deal. Okay, as long as you get the job, and as she said earlier, as long as you don't drop the ball, everything's cool. But the fact of the matter is, we've created an environment with some of our technology that will allow you to work when you're not necessarily here at your desk. And that's something that works great for our area. I hope that you have enjoyed some of that too. If you have any questions about it, come and talk to me about it, and we can tell you of ways that you can get things done by not necessarily sitting at your desk from 8 to 5. All right, so our quote is, work is what I do, but not where I go. And that is it. If you have any questions or like to contact any of us, that's our email address. That's Tina's phone number, so. Exactly. We'll make sure that she gets the message to us. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, next we have e-learning and instructional technology. And do yourself a favor, if you haven't already, and Google Freedom with Ray Smith, and you'll find out who the musician is. I was going to say musician. And the internet doesn't work in here, that's why we didn't pull it up
Okay, so we are e-learning and instructional technology. I did use the template, I just didn't go in order, so I have to remember what all I put up here. Our office is tasked with the oversight of the Mississippi Virtual Community College system, instructional technology, which is what Shaylin oversees, partnership services, and professional development. Now, I'm going to stand up here and do the Dexter and say, Farr's working team, but unlike Dexter, who had that big old slide of like 20 people, that's my team. If you don't know me, I'm Crystal Brunn, Shaylin Ferris. We have an opening right now. Contrary to popular belief, you do not have to be under 5'2" to work in my division. Preferably somebody taller. If you'd like to apply, see Cynthia. We have some stuff on a shelf we haven't been able to reach. But right now, we are it. We are overseeing MSVCC, which is the Mississippi Virtual Community College. It is a consortium of the 15 community colleges sharing not only courses, but all of the resources. It started in 2000 with about 63 courses, and now we're seeing that number probably inaccurate. I know Raul will have a better update, but we serve every single student basically that comes on a campus that touches a piece of instructional technology is something that we're helping to support and oversee. So as I said, instructional technology, instructional design, partnership services, and professional development. From an instructional technology perspective, that is your campus administration. Shaylin predominantly does all these now because it's just she and I. We are tag teaming all of it together. It's the only way we get it all done. But these are all the services and resources and support that we provide as it relates to instructional technology. The biggest of which is actually help desk support. Most of our faculty and administrators can contact our office if they have an issue with a piece of technology that we've adopted. If they have a student who's struggling with something in Canvas, Shaylin and I have access to all 15 instances of Canvas at the colleges so that we can support them if they have an issue that comes up. And that's the bulk of really what we do is instructional technology in our division. The next, we haven't been able to do as much with this as we'd like to, but we actually just redesigned the MSVCC Academy, which is our professional development portal. Last year we had over 1,500 attendees attend our professional development. This year we redesigned the academy. We want to make sure that they are of the utmost quality and integrity, and so we put a lot of work into that. Those courses are free. Y'all can take them. We send out emails, so when you get an email about the MSVCC Academy, there's a piece of technology you want to learn more about, register for the course. We have webinars and courses, and they're all free for you, and they are free for the community colleges to attend. So please share those with your people. We also help them with doing the templates. So we just redid the MSVCC Academy templates. We've been working with the community colleges designing templates for their courses to be able to put into their online platform. And then we started working with a lot of the divisions here within the agency. I'm kind of glad that Tiara's out right now because hers I had to put on hold a little bit, but I'm actually working on a template for Tiara right now. So I was a little glad when I saw she was on medical leave. But we're working with templates. We work with Bronwyn to get her a template for Smart Start. So if that's something you need in your division, we work with Dr. Knox getting early childhood. That's what we're here for. That's what our division does. The biggest one, probably the number that Jason likes to see, is our cost avoidance. The way in which we work as a consortium, we do get MSVCC fees and we get EdTech appropriations. And we use that to purchase all of the technologies, the educational technologies. And so we have a variety of large contracts that are overseen by our office. About $3 million worth of contracts go through ITS, but by purchasing them as a consortium, last year we saved over 43% versus what it would have been if each of those colleges adopted that technology individually. And so that's huge. That's a huge cost avoidance for our colleges and for the state. Mentioned professional development, that's what the platform looks like. We currently have the portal. We're also working with Dr. Thurman and Cynthia working on having an MCCB professional development portal as well. If this is something that your division is interested in, if you want to offer professional development, we have that availability to you. Dr. Knox has the Early Childhood Academy that we helped her establish. We have the MSVCC Academy, and we're able to help tailor that to meet the needs of your division. However, until we get done with the website, we're going to have to put some things on hold. And so I told Cynthia I needed a prize if I got done in less than 10 minutes. So our last slide is all about the website. We are actually overseeing the redesign of the MCCB website. Our goal is to go live in August. If you're not sure, it is already August. So on Friday, I think, Shaylin, we sent out another email. Maybe it was Thursday. Shaylin sends you a lot of emails right now, so stop ignoring her emails. I have to work right next to her on this thing. So if you didn't get the email on Friday, please go through that. We are to the point we need to finalize the content. We're ready to move into the user interface testing. We can't do that until the content is finalized. We really do have a hard deadline on it because for the next 3 days, that is all Shaylin and I are going to do is finalize the content so that we can go into testing. So give us your stuff, please. Don't ignore your email. Please do. Shaylin will hunt you down.
Great job for me so far. 4 years in coming. This really is 4 years in coming, and we were working with a vendor, and they're on a hard deadline, so we certainly want to.
And originally we thought at this stage we'd be able to assign each person in the division to be able to upload content. That didn't happen, so it's Shaylin and I uploading all the content, so it's a lot to get done. There's hundreds of pages, but I think you guys will be really, really pleased with it once it goes live. So if you don't see us for 3 days, that's what we're doing for the next 3 days. That's it. Or drinking at some point. So, but, all right, that's it. That's e-learning. How to do, Cynthia?
All right, let's give a hand to e-learning. We have our very own data dude coming up.
Bam!
I don't think I have to introduce him, but this is Raul. Everyone give him a round of applause.
Bam!
Okay, so our division starring Raul, Davida, Beverly,
Berlin. And Ed. 4 stars. Yeah. So what is our review? What are the responsibilities? We count students. We count trainees and workforce. Then we send the posse to the colleges to audit them. We provide the numbers to finance division, generate a bunch of reports, provide guidance to the colleges, maintain the guidelines, monitor MOA and SNAP. So that's the short. So our major efforts is to upload the credit data of each, at the end of each term, validate and verify the data. We audit each college to ensure students are properly admitted. We generate a ton of reports from Jason, and you know he generates a lot of questions, so we do that. And we do upload the workforce data. We monitor workforce projects and staff projects. That's just in short of what we do. So some of the key considerations are, by law, we have to count and audit the enrollment of the colleges. So that's good, so everybody is on the same basis. Reimbursement of the colleges is based on the enrollment and attendance as per state law. The state also has very strict definitions of who is and who is not an in-state resident, so we've got to abide by that. And basically, the state only reimburses in-state students except for the ADNs. There's additional funds provided for career tech, and so we got to make sure that those are properly cataloged. And we, after maybe 4 years ago, we started having dual books. One set of books that we turn to Jason, which is how he reimburses, and then the other one, which we call Life Tracks, which is all the students, whether they are reimbursed or not. And that pretty much the colleges wanted and needed that. So, what, do we do anything important? Indeed, we do a lot of things important. We ensure the data provided to the MCCB is accurate, reliable. We audit standards, and we apply them consistently. If not, if you don't believe me, ask Davida. She applies them consistently throughout. It allows the colleges to trust each other and to trust the data reports that they, either that we issue or that they issue among themselves based on the numbers that we have audited. So it lets Jason to do fair and equitable reimbursements. So cleaner data, cleaner audits. Cleaner audits, less findings, and headaches. Less headaches. And which means more money, a lot more money. We'll see that. Who is that team? Okay? Well, me, of course, yeah. I'm the number cruncher. Well, anyways, let's.
They'll get the slides, so.
Yeah. Anyway, bam! I'm explaining here something. So, anyway, that's me. We got Davida. And don't mess with her because she's gonna call you out of, with a smile. We got Beverly, who she never gives up. She keeps on growing. Okay? Now, I had a hard time finding that picture, so I found the best picture I could find for her. And you know that's true because you can hear her giggling in the hallway. We got Ed, and we know what he does, right? Mr. Jack Nicholas of MCCB. Okay. So what are our responsibilities? We count students, we validate them, verify data. It's a very meticulous process. We try to ensure birthday tradition rates and all of that. I was tired of having kids born in the year 3007, so we started really tightening up quite a bit. We cannot have high school graduates and still be dual enrolled, so we clean quite a bit of that stuff. We count workforce trainees in the same way. We validate data. It's the very similar process as the credit world. We audit accounts, both in the credit world and in the workforce. Okay, good. We generate a statistical sample, and based on that, we go and do the admissions and the attendance audits. Each college is visited every semester, so that's 45 trips a semester. They live on the road quite a bit. We provide finance and the and division with the audit accounts. We generate a lot of reports, hundreds and hundreds of reports to the budget, SRB, the treasury, and of course, to Andrew Mayfield and Kel Smith, who often emailed me.
Thank you very much.
Real late at night, I said I need a report by tomorrow morning. So, or Kel just walks in, I need a report by this afternoon. So, and we provide guidance and assistance to the colleges. So we maintain the guidelines and host a data conference right here in this auditorium, and we monitor MOA and SNAP. Colleges may complain about the uploads, however, the number of findings has decreased tremendously over the last few years. Validation and verification occurs in 2 steps. We upload data through a system called EARS that I developed for us about 5 years ago. It's been awesome, and you're going to see some numbers in a second here. I'm going to go over a second or two. We have one audit team which provides greater consistency through the audits, and that's critical. It's been very important. And I find this really interesting. We have clean data uploads, consistent audit data, and we have saved the colleges tons of money. The number of findings has decreased tremendously. Look at this. This is the number of findings over the years, starting in year 2011 to now 2019. It's decreased quite a bit, I think. Look at that, ouch. Yikes. Now let's do this in credit hours. Ooh-wee. That hurts, that's a lot of credit hours. Now let's do it in money. You see that number? Over $500,000 that they had in fines. Okay? Look how it's nowadays. Man, that's gotta hurt. Ouch, it really hurts. Here, electronic attendance coming up. We're gonna save the time that we do attendance audits by 90% from 45 days to maybe 3 or 4 days. And that's all, folks.
I'm bringing my team back home.
Come back home.
Thank you. I'm proud of them. Come and stand up here with us.
All right, let's give a round of applause to our work-based learning apprenticeships
Team effort. Matthew, bless his heart,
did most of this PowerPoint, so anyway. So we are the division that's been tasked with overseeing work-based learning. And in our state, internship has probably taken off. Many great opportunities with internship were provided through our K-12, through our community colleges, and even through our local workforce areas, but apprenticeship is new. And we took over the apprenticeship program in July of last year. And so we focus with that, overseeing that program is pretty extensive, as well as with our rapid response program. Here's our team. Me, I'm Rachel. Obviously, I think most of you know me. Jonna Payton came on in January. She came to us from Mississippi Delta Community College. She is our director of MAP. We have Matthew Raleigh here, who has brought with him from MDOC a wealth of knowledge in working with returning citizens. And that is an area over the course of the next year that we definitely want to expand opportunities in. So as far as our team responsibilities, the Mississippi Apprenticeship Program is a DOL registered apprenticeship program. We have started moving into non-registered apprenticeship training, but I think it's safe to say most of our week is spent overseeing this program. John is going to share just a couple tidbits of information about that. In addition to that, we work special projects. Crystal, Krista, Dexter, we cannot drop the ball on online workforce, I'm just saying, okay? And so we also work with Rapid Response. This was a new program that Dr. Mayfield started when Matthew came on board. He works very closely with MDES and their Mississippi Work system. He works with employers, job seekers, multiple nonprofit agencies and organizations, as well as other state agencies, in serving as a connector for job seekers who are looking to find employment. Again, our major programs, we probably have this out of order, but our apprenticeship program, Rapid Response, and then I'm able to work with special projects with many of you, and I'm excited to know that one of Dr. Mayfield's visions for this next year is that more departments will get to work together. I think two heads are better than one, and us in implementing ideas and new visions, innovation. It's important for all of us to get together and collaborate. So John, you want to just share a couple things about apprenticeship?
Like Rachel said, I came and joined the team in January. My official title is the Director of the Mississippi Apprenticeship Program. I guess to sum up, the goal or the purpose of the program is to expand and promote registered apprenticeship across the state.
Does everyone know what apprenticeship is? Everyone know what internship? Yeah. Okay, apprenticeship is similar to internship, excuse me. It's a training program that a company can put in place for developing their own skilled workforce. In Mississippi, our participation rate for workforce is approximately 55–56%. We all have heard about the middle skills gap with employers looking to find a skilled workforce. And so internship, like I stated, is pretty popular, but internship could be for employees or it might not be. It could be paid or unpaid. Apprenticeship is an opportunity for employers to hire that trainee, and from day one, they receive on-the-job training with some kind of classroom instructional component put in place with some other criteria there. And our main focus is registered, which simply means it is Department of Labor recognized. And then we are moving into non-registered, which might be more or less considered homegrown or more personalized employee apprenticeship training programs.
And like I was saying, it's to
Before I
promote,
interrupt.
no, but it's to promote growth. And I was kind of looking over the different areas. To me, we have promoted growth in several areas. Number one, at the end of this last quarter, the second quarter, the number of registered apprentices is now hit 1,263 that have signed under the MAP program, and that was at the end of June, okay? So that's expansion with the number of apprentices. Also, in the last 6 months, we have signed on 2 new companies. Electric Cooperatives of Mississippi had an amazing apprenticeship program that they had developed, and they have registered their apprenticeship program with the Department of Labor, and then also Hago Automotive Company up in Northeast Mississippi. They just registered their apprenticeship program. So there's an area of expansion, like with the number of businesses, the number of programs. And then the third area, which you know, I'm really excited about this. When we started, or when I started working in January, we were working with 4 pilot colleges, which was Kahoma, Colin, Hines, and Pearl River. Since then, we have also added Mississippi Gulf Coast. We just partnered with them. They're doing a lot of really exciting work with apprenticeship. They worked for the past year in developing a branch manager apprenticeship program with Keesler Federal Credit Union. It's the first of the kind in the state. And also, myself, along with Dr. Sterling, we made a trip to Northwest last week. We're working with that community college, which is also going to be kind of a first in the state. They're developing, well, they've already got the apprenticeship program, a 4-year lineman apprenticeship program, but they're working with Northwest so that upon completion of this 4-year program, the apprentices will have also earned their Associate Applied Science degree. So that's is very exciting and interesting. So once again, we've kind of expanded number of apprentices, number of community colleges that we're working with, and the number of programs that we've registered. So it's been a very time-consuming, very busy, very exciting though.
I want to make a point about that too. To put that in perspective, in the last 4 years, you saw the number, over 1,200 apprentices through MAP. Now, prior to MAP, there is a person in the state of Mississippi charged with the apprentice, establishing apprenticeship opportunities. However, I can say that, in 10 years or more, the state had only produced how many?
1,700 original before our 1,200 came.
And that was 10 years or more.
We're excited. We're a small staff, and it does consume a lot of our time. There's many components within that program. But we are bringing on 3 new additional staff members, and we're excited that they're going to be MCCB staff members. I feel like it's important in developing our team that we are housed here. So in that look, or in that vision, the 3 of us that we've worked on, obviously we want to expand into other territories, additional sectors, but it takes a lot of time there. In addition to that, in addition to Matthew's hard work in helping us overseeing the MAP program, he also works with Rapid Response, and he just wants to share a couple words.
Just real quick, with the Mississippi Works system that we help, along with the apprenticeship program, I help businesses connect job seekers to those jobs. And right now, as we promote the Mississippi Works app, we let those individuals know that they can download the app. And right now, there's 43,000 jobs plus in the state of Mississippi. So I mean, that's awesome. Anything from transportation to healthcare to retail to just all industry sectors. I see Cynthia that they can go and access. Okay. One other thing I want to share real quick. Dr. Mayfield is real big on partnerships, and we partner with the Governor's Job Fair Network just this past June to host a outstanding job fair where we connected individuals with employers from Ingalls to just 25 to 30 employees came last month, in June rather, that students and job seekers had opportunity to meet with the businesses face to face about opportunities with their company. So that's my role. If you need anything else, my office is right by Cynthia. So.
And then here's just some of the special projects I was able to work on, again, with other individuals. Like Matthew stated, just some considerations considerations here. I had up there MAP consumes our every waking hour and probably sleeping hour too, but I took it down. I wasn't sure if anybody would appreciate that. We are happy with the work, but we are super excited that we have 3 more staff members coming into play here with us on that. I think the one area that we want to expand our focus, we've had numerous discussions with Mississippi Department of Corrections. You know, there's 20-something thousand. If I'm not mistaken, Mississippi has the highest incarcerated number in the nation. And if we're not number 1 with the highest numbers of individuals incarcerated, we're number 2 or 3. That says something. 8,000 are released every year, and so this is an area, especially with Matthew's expertise and where he came from, that we are looking to move more into. That is a workforce pool of applicants right there. I do believe that they have something to offer and provide. Over time, so sorry. Okay, we are on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. We have a beautiful website. Kenneth and Gloria and Dee started that work before we came into play with MAP, and our company that we work with is Fahrenheit. They've done a beautiful job, and so follow us. Thanks.
Thanks so much. So you'll see why we have this time.
Oh, no, she
right? No, I wasn't meaning you all specifically. I was meaning in general. The passion that all of you have for your divisions is so strong that you want to share. And I'll discuss this later with Rachel. But it's exciting to see that you want to share so much of what you're doing, but unfortunately we have to keep confidential. So, yeah, we'll have a family discussion later. So I'm really cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Angie D, and today we'll be bringing to the stage none other than the money man, Mr. Kenneth Whitley. The king and queen. That's so funny. All right, thank you. Hands together.
Well, actually, we're planning a dance routine. So you guys didn't get to see that today because McKidney, this is our team. McKidney unfortunately had jury duty, and it looks like she's been selected on the panel, so we have to scrap the dance routine. All right, well, but this is our team. McKenna Barnes serves as our assistant program director. She's also the My Best project manager. Anjanette Dixon, who will soon be Dr. Anjanette Dixon, is our grants compliance specialist and is dealing with all of the grant contracts that we're dealing with under our division, and has just been a tremendous asset in helping us stay on top of all this money that Dr. Mayfield is leading us to. And then Dr. Gloria Mawasi. Now, Gloria is our project consultant. She's technically not a staff member, but let me just say, Dr. Mawasi has a tremendous work ethic. She is a native Mississippian who decided to come back home and to bring back all of her vast knowledge and experience of having worked with colleges all across the country, as well as a couple of foundations. And she's here because she really believes in the work, and she has been a tremendous asset. And really, to be honest with you,
She is part of our team.
she's a part of our team, and she actually does way more than what we pay her for. So we're very blessed to have Gloria as a part of the team, and then myself. So, let me jumping to our major programs. You all have heard about these programs with some of the earlier presentations, and I'll just kind of go over them as it relates to the dollars that are involved. But here's what's very important in terms of our team responsibilities, and do know we kind of changed up the presentation. Our first responsibility in our area is to secure external funding for the agency and really for the system as a whole. In particular, all of this starts with Dr. Mayfield's vision. And so we've been very successful, I think, as a team and as an agency because of the leadership to bring in those external dollars. As a part of that, in writing any grant, that's a lot of work that goes into it up front, but really the bulk of the work is on the back side of it in terms of managing the program, so the grants administration aspects, because there is where you can run into trouble if you're not spending the dollars as you said in your goals and objectives of your proposals, and then also just making sure that you comply with federal and state guidelines. And then thirdly, we're responsible for providing grant writing training and grants administration training. And actually we're going to be doing a little more of this coming up, and I think we've actually scheduled a presentation in September. And then we will also, I think in the spring, be going out to one of the colleges that has requested some information and assistance around training. And then in order to do our work, we basically have to do a lot of program planning. And that's where all of you all come into play with the work of our division. So everything begins with, and Dr. Mayfield, thank you for today, because in terms of what we do, all of our work kind of flows from her vision, which undoubtedly are visions that are tied to what the governor wants to do and what we're trying to do in the state as a whole. And so as she provides strategic vision and leadership, we're able to kind of direct our efforts towards the different grant programs that we go out. Now, in order to do anything, collaboration is very important, right? Because a lot of times you all will come to me and say, well, Kenneth, we have an idea for a grant program. And that's great. But in order for any grant to be written, someone has to have an idea. It's not necessarily my job to come up with all the ideas as it relates to the different things that you want to do. Really, our job is more to kind of finesse what you want to do. So when you say, I want to do this, that's great. But tell me what the goals are. Tell me what the goals and objectives are so that we can kind of sit down and plan with you and to make sure that we can put together the most competitive application. And then once we get the money, to make sure that we're able to manage it effectively. So in order for us to do our work, we need all of you all. And those programs that were listed, those are results of the work that we've already done together collectively. And because of some of the work, we've really made some leap forwards in terms of policy development, in particular around some of the work with the My Best program. In that now, because of that work, individuals that in the state that do not have their high school diploma can now apply for and be admitted into community college programs to pursue their post-secondary education. So that was a major development. And then also along with that, the colleges are now able to get FTE reimbursement. And that came along about 5 years ago at a time in which revenues were down. And so it really made a very meaningful impact to the colleges because it allowed for new dollars to come to the system. Now, impacting lives is something that we do through some of our work. I know with our agency overall, you heard Dexter talk earlier about workforce, bringing jobs in, which really that certainly touches lives. But we're happy through the work of programs like MAP, My Best program, our Career Development Academies program, CDA, and we're really touching lives. And it's not so much policy and education driven, which is our areas of expertise, and that's all great. And so it's great when we can do what we do from a policy perspective, but then also to have those policies to merge and touch lives on a real daily basis. And I do not have enough time to go over all of those. In fact, we have over 1,000 examples through the work of My Best, and you've heard about what the MAP team is doing. And so I would encourage you all to go out to our website and to our Facebook page, which we have linked up here, to hear all the wonderful stories how people who did not have a formal education have now been able to not only complete their high school education, but also to gain either a career and technical education or complete something through workforce that's allowing them to put food on the table for their families. So that is something that we're very proud of. Now, my quote is a quote that I'm not going to complete, 3 minutes. But my quote is a quote that all of you all know. So Dr. Mayfield, don't get mad because I'm not going to complete it. But my quote is, money talks and walks, right? Okay, so money talks. And so today, again, because of the collective efforts of all of us, and these represent different programs, either in which we have directly wrote and developed, or I have worked in tandem with you all to bring into our state. So almost $32 million now, Dr. Mayfield. These first three in green are grants that are tied to the My Best program. The blue bars down there are tied to the apprenticeship program. That was work that Gloria and I started and did the initial writing, the planning, and implementation. And then Dr. Mayfield, we turned it over to the capable hands of Dr. Devon and her team. And as y'all heard, she's already added 2 more colleges. So they're taking that program to an even higher level. And with our work with My Best, as My Best continues to grow, we're working very closely with Sandy, Chris, and her team because now we have this integrated education and training model in the state. These other bars reflect programs such as Dr. Jones' program, the red bar, which is our MCCB program, the yellow bar, the $4.4 million for the Career Development Academies, which is a program that dealt with helping with after-school education and training for high school students. So not only are we working in the community college setting, we're reaching back and catching individuals while they're still in high school. And then the big purple bar is my friends with the Career Early Childhood Academy with Dr. Knox and her team. But that's through the new grant, which is the PDGB 5 grant, which is our preschool development grant. And then now we've gotten so spoiled, what Dr. Mayfield said in the trend 1 minute, is that this little money down here doesn't register in terms of giving you a bar graph, but it's money. It's some very important work. And towards the end down there, there are 2 programs that are going to have policy-wide implications. The Ability to Benefit program, which is a grant that we have through CLASS that Nikenda led the efforts on. And then we also have a new opportunity with the Annie E. Casey Foundation to do some planning that eventually is going to move us towards looking at performance-based outcome and planning, and a really big grant opportunity there. So again, with all the stuff that we're doing, it's just no way for us to do it without you guys. And I have on the, you can get the slides later, just showing you in terms of the impact. So Better Together means that not only are we bringing money in for the agency first and foremost, but look how we're impacting the colleges directly. $600,000 went to all the colleges under My Best. And also with the MAP program, each college is getting different monies and they're adding programs to the work. So I look forward to working with each of you all. When y'all come with your ideas, and let's sit down and really kind of strategize and plan so that we can continue to add to this almost $32 million. Thank you.
All right, I have the pleasure of welcoming to the
song and dance prepared as well. So many of us decided to go against it. So, great morning.
Great morning.
Even though Dexter may feel that they are the hardest working, I must differ and say that Early Childhood Academy is not only the hardest working, we are also the largest division and statewide. So if Early Childhood Academy, PDGB 5 will please stand. Jacob, you are us. Quality come up in just a few seconds. Our office is made possible by funds provided federally through the Child Care Development Block Grant Funds. Previously, 9% of those dollars had to be utilized on quality initiatives. It has been since increased to 12%. So we are very excited that nationwide, locally, everyone is recognizing the importance of early childhood, and that increase was made. The Early Childhood Academy came to be from a partnership between the Mississippi Department of Human Services with the Mississippi Community College Board to house the Early Childhood Academies on the campuses of the community colleges throughout the state. Who are we? We serve as the primary support mechanism for child care providers under the Mississippi Family-Based Unified and Integrated Early Childhood Plan. That plan was developed by CCAC. All states are required to have a state early childhood advisory council, and the governor developed CCAC. We are proud to have Dr. Mayfield serving on that council. April also serves on that council. And CCAC worked to develop that family-based plan. And there are three components of that plan that we really focus on, and that's early care and learning, health and mental health, safety and nutrition, and family engagement. So these gorgeous faces make up our primary leadership team. Myself, you have April J. May, who is in office on the 7th floor, and also Kenesha Brooks Smith, who is located up north. Even though we are primary leadership for this initiative, we could absolutely not do anything that we do without the team. And you see it as a very large includes our business advisors that work directly with child care directors to make sure that when they get a child care center, they can keep it open. So all those business practices they cover. We have our family engagement specialists. We have Melissa up north. We have Tanja down south, who work directly with families doing training. They work with child care centers to make sure that they're engaging their parents in the learning environment there. We have our resource and referral associates. We have 14 throughout the state. Our PDGB5 team over here in the corner. We have Austin, Jim, and Caitlin, who have the big task of managing that $10.6 million. Our early childhood liaisons, we have Lisa here today, and Jevelyn is here also. They work directly with our coach professional development specialists. They are that first line of defense for them in providing them with their needed support. Our ECA technical specialist, Jacob, in finance, even though he's really and our coach and professional development specialist, we have about 43, 44. That number is fluctuating, and it will get a little bit larger throughout the state. And our ECA technical specialist, who is on 7th floor, Miss Kathy, who is everybody's life. Right now, our participating community colleges are listed. We have 14 colleges that are participating. We have one university, and coming up in the fall, we have another university that will be joining with us, Alcorn State University. And also Jones College is really excited about coming on board. So we're excited that more colleges are seeing the impact that's being made, and they want to be a part of it. So we're very excited about that. And also, I do want to mention the importance of partnerships. We do have a big partnership with Families First, and they also have one of our academies as well. Our responsibilities as a team, we provide coaching and technical assistance. That is done both on site, is done in the child care centers, in the academy, whatever is most easy for that provider. We want to eliminate any barriers. We have our resource referral services. One thing about those services, and I want everybody to understand, those services are available for anybody. All of you in this room are able to use those services. Tell your family about our services. They are free for anyone to use. You can come in, you can check out, you can do whatever you need to do. It's free for everybody. Our professional development, we offer professional development in different ways. So we offer that face-to-face on the college campuses on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays. That's done during the coaching process. That's considered professional development as well. And we also are able to offer it online, thank you to the e-learning division. And also our business support that I mentioned earlier, along with the family support. The quality designations that our office is primarily responsible for, and this has been a big change for our child care providers, are our 2 quality designations, standard and comprehensive. Standard is just that basic level of care that you would expect in any good quality child care center. And comprehensive looks at a child holistically, and it involves a bit more for that child care center. These are our professional development domains that our PD covers. These are required by the Department of Health. The Department of Health mandates that providers receive training in. Our PD is not just a sit and get. It's embedded in the work that our coaches do every day when they're in the child care centers. We really hone in on following up with the PD that we do. They don't just come and say, okay, I was here, I did it. The coaches make sure that the work that they receive from the PD is being embedded in the work that they do every day. So I stole a quote, and it came from the CCAC website, and this was quoted by Governor Phil Bryant. It reads, in the first 5 years of life, 90% of the brain is development. School readiness means that children enter school ready to benefit from early learning experiences in order to be successful. Families, early childhood providers, and community partners must work together to provide safe and healthy experiences that will ensure that all of Mississippi's children are ready to enter school, ready to learn. And I put that quote in because it really connects directly with our mission of Early Childhood Academy. Our mission is to make sure that our children are learning in a safe, quality environment where it's not just about babysitting. Long gone are those days, and that's a perception that a lot of centers have. But our providers do more than that. They are responsible for academics, social and emotional health, fine motor skills, everything that you can think of under the sun, developmental and appropriate practices, looking at developmental milestones. All of that is occurring in childhood centers today. And that fits in with our mission that we do, making sure that we do everything that we can to support child care centers and children are leaving ready to learn. So some stats that we have right now, there are about 1,600 child care centers that participate in a child care payment program with MDHS. So far, we have 228 partnership agreements, and that means that more than that use our services, but 228 of them say, hey, we want you to come in and coach our staff and make sure that we're doing everything we can to have quality. And that's a total of 999 classrooms throughout the state. A huge responsibility that's happening right now is we are making sure that for our coaching to be effective, we are providing them with the resources that they need. Kanisha and the team have ordered for 37 plus child care centers. That's 147 plus classrooms where the coaches and other staff have been in there, setting up those classrooms, unpacking boxes. We are Monday through Sunday in Early Childhood Academy. We're not Monday through Friday. Our hours of operation are all standard, so any academy that you visit on a college campus or our Family's First location, you're guaranteed to have that same service. And you know where to find us. Myself, April, and Kathy, we're all on the 7th floor. Jacob is on the 7th, or no, he's on the 6th. The PDG team is on the 3rd floor. Caitlin is on the 5th. But please follow us on Facebook. We have a huge following on Facebook. This is where we post all of our monthly engagement activities that the academies do, all of our events. Any information you need is on Facebook, so please follow us there. Thank you.
Next, can you count how many times she said quality?
Quality. I do want to make one point about early child. You know, sometimes people wonder, well, what does Early Child Academy, what does that have to do with the community college? And I'll tell you, not only does it put into place the quality standards that are needed to ensure that a student is prepared to develop that foundation early on so that they can successfully transition from pre-K to kindergarten to K-12 on into your community colleges and on into the workforce. That's our future workforce. But also something else, providing a quality child care experience to a family means that that family, those parents then are free free to go out and get the training they need to join the workforce. Many people, especially in rural areas, have to make a difficult choice. Are they going to stay home and ensure that their child is getting quality care, or are they going to join the workforce? It's a choice. This affords an opportunity to everybody so that now they know their child is developing appropriately, they're getting the foundation that they need to be successful in the future as part of that future workforce, but they also know that now they're able to join the workforce as well. So kudos to ECA and the team. Thank you. All right.
I'm Cynthia. You all know. I have 3 minutes left. I have the pleasure of being your last presenter. So overview, let's see. I'm going to read this to you. We are a high-impact division that is responsible for incorporating complex workforce dynamics and the employee experience with a broader strategy of MCCB. Our aim is to assist in the development of an agile operating structure that responds to the needs of our employees who work to support and advance Mississippi's community college system. Our division's mission is to empower a community of achievement through compliance and professional development for a culture of excellence. And this is the team. And Dr. Crystal Thurman, whom you've seen quite a bit today. And I really want to thank her for pulling this together. She's done an excellent job. So you all do the same. Our major processes: organizational development and employment, compliance, labor relations, and professional development. In 2011, we had 42 positions. 2019, we had 71 PNs. Last year, we were close to 90 positions. This completely changes the dynamics of this organization and how we relate and respond and work together. HR processes and responsibility, organization, staff, and employment. And there's several little, this is not an exhaustive list, but this is, hit the main points. Compliance, workforce, workplace, what you all need to do, your everyday cares. Between Shana and I, taking care of the compliance and Shana with the benefits. Let's see here. I also forgot to mention on here that I am your injury. When you get hurt, please come and let me know. Because we get a fine on this. I didn't list this, but this is one I really wanted to bring out. We get a fine if you all report that. So please come within 3 days and let me know. Also, caveat into that, wellness. You all have available our wellness initiative. So you can go and see MEA, and you have free counseling services. So whatever your needs are, whether they be something related to your job or personal, please go and see them, because those are your days to take.
Can your family members go?
Your family members can also attend. Y'all can do group sessions. And I have a little bit more information for anyone who needs that. Just reach out to me or Shana. All right, professional development. The professional development model that Dr. Mayfield talked about is our club. I had left coffee today. Let me read this. This is our collective training model that aims to facilitate the growth and development of MCCB staff, as well as the community college leaders, faculty, support personnel, and administrators throughout the state of Mississippi. Our mission is to promote and offer a storefront of personal and professional growth opportunities through a variety of target delivery formats. Our vision is that CPD will service the training needs of Mississippi's community college workforce, thus influence student success. These are wise words that I live by. I'm convinced that nothing we do is more important than hiring and developing people. At the end of the day, you bet on people, not on strategies, because those strategies are useless without the right people in place. All right. And I'm going to take a little turn here, because now we're going to focus more on our theme of Better Together. These are your divisions for MCCB. You've heard from each of your colleagues in these divisions on their various programs and processes. So why better together? Well, let me ask you a few questions. I want you to raise your hand if any of you do your best work when you're excluded from office interchanges. I want you all to raise your hand if you do your best work when your needs are ignored. I want you to raise your hand when you're embarrassed. If you do your best work when you're embarrassed or ridiculed. I'm willing to bet that each one of you are sitting here with an emphatic no, because you don't. And that's what's occurring when you keep these silos up and you hold this information in. This is not just your stage, this is MCCB's stage, and we're all working here to advance the vision and the mission of MCCB. Right? So, that's our guiding thing, which is why, in accompanying with Dr. Mayfield's challenges, I'm also offering you all the following challenges. Maximize and capitalize on opportunities to eliminate redundant spending. Look around. Each of you are the most valuable capital that we have. Look at that. Forge those interagency partnerships, and I also am asking you to work closer with Dr. Thurman. She's eager. She wants to get in there and make sure that we don't offer redundant training. This way she can maximize on the money and also reallocate that to other things. This will benefit each division. I know that seems like a new concept to each one of you, to have this centralized thing. But at one time, so were cell phones and laptops. We all adjusted to that, and we see the benefits. So don't wait, be prepared, because anything can happen, and this would benefit us as a whole. All right, be purposeful in inclusivity. Don't leave anyone out. Each one of you works a state level job, which means you were brought in because of the talents that you possess. Transcend any past disagreements or slights, because like I said, this is MCCB's stage. You come here every day or wherever you work. You're a part of the MCCB team, and each one of you needs to feel like you can contribute. There's someone that I talk to all the time that tells me what we do is one way, but there's always a better way. We listen to each other. Don't be afraid to invite someone to your meetings if they're not in your division. Let them sit in. This may help them out a bit, and you with new ideas. Build better leaders. See the potential in each one of you. You're not fragile in your processes. You can share this information and build on others. Dr. Mayfield has shown you through her quotes and her vision that she is motivated and committed to moving our agency forward. With a culture, we'd like for people out there to say they get stuff done. That, yeah, I was trying to be good about that. I've got circles here, leadership circles. And this came from a movie I saw, and I thought that this would give a visual of what a good leader is. The inner circle is, for our purposes, a division. A good leader draws a circle around themselves and cares for those within that circle. The next circle is a better leader that draws a larger circle and pulls others within that circle that they're comfortable with. But that greatest leader draws an even larger circle that pulls in many, many more, because they know that leading forward and pulling forward the whole entity moves the agency forward. Now, each one of you is a leader in your own aspect, and each one of you will have to decide what size your circle is. But we are better together moving forward. With that, I'll turn it back over to Dr. Mayfield for some closing thoughts.
All of you did a fantastic job this morning, and I'll tell you, human resources is one of the most important departments within an organization. Again, you know, Cynthia said it and said it best. She said, Your people are your greatest asset, and that is so true. So we've got to ensure that our people are taken care of, that the talents are nourished, and will continue to flourish. I just love that crown on your head. It's rock. With that, before we eat lunch, I do want to say a couple of things. One is, be open to change. Be open to change, because change happens. It's going to happen every day. It's going to continue to happen. And when we're open to change, we're able to face the challenges that change will bring. Doing it together makes a difference. And that's why we're here. That's why we're one team. I do want to say that today you've seen all the great work that is taking place within the agency. We're moving forward. We're doing some great things, and we're impacting a lot of people in positive ways. And one of the resounding themes, well, actually three, that you've heard time and time again this morning as you listen, think about alignment. You've heard that. You've heard innovation. You've heard partnership. You've heard relationships. And all of those things are important to accomplish that mission, which is to prepare, connect, and sustain our workforce for the state of Mississippi. We do that because being a part of the workforce does provide people with a better quality of life. So what do we do this for? We do it for the people. We do it for people. We do it for the students, because those are our greatest assets. Thank you for what you do. I'm so proud to have you a part of the team. And with that, is it time to eat?
It is time to eat.
Let's go.
Let me take a break before we go. That'll probably be a little more efficient. You guys are about to leave anyway, which I don't understand yet. Please. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you once again that you blessed us with this day. We thank you for this opportunity to come together as friends, as a family, as colleagues, to do this work. Lord, we just pray that whatever we do, that it is to your glory. We ask you to give us strength each day, Lord, that we may go forth and do the great work that you set out for us. And Lord, we just ask that you watch over each and every one of our colleagues as we go about doing our jobs, whether that's in the state or out of the state, near and far. We just pray and trust that you will give us traveling grace. Lord, we just thank you for the leadership that you've placed here. We ask that you continue to strengthen Dr. Mayfield and allow her to move us from strength to strength as an agency as we seek to improve our lives in our state. And now, Lord, we just ask that you would bless the food that we're about to receive, that it will be a nourishment to our bodies, and that we will take this energy and always go forward to do your work and your will. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Let me do just one more drawing.
Emmett's going to call out the number.
It is the last three numbers, 356.
Yeah. All right, everyone, be back at 105. Yes, back in here, 105.
Watch the coffee go. Watch the coffee go.
Put something in it. How about this? Drop something. That's what I think.
Cozumel.
They want to take it, they can pay.
I'll take it out.
We're going to Jack's.
Do you know that?
You got a picture with the queen, is that what it is?
Oh, la 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 la.
I know, right?
So proud of the man. Hey, hey, hey. You're so sweet.
I know.
So what are we doing exactly?
We're doing little team exercises.
So we're trying to record those two?
We can. Mark, I have my presentation. I sent it to her. And she took some of my presentation, but me hers. So of course I'm gonna have to present. So it totally threw me off. I hate that. All that shit. She took it from my head. Is that what I'm saying? Okay, I'm like, this just seems so redundant. I'm sorry. I've been taken. Because I was sitting there going, I don't have to work my presentation. So it totally threw me off because I made this committed to memory. And I'm sorry. I'm impressed because I worked really hard on putting that shit together. And it was supposed to sound good instead of broken up and choppy. This is the frame that I was talking about with it. And it was supposed to be so funny the way I said it, and it did not come across because my mind is like steady racing.
We are definitely competitive here.
I have no idea how much work I put into that. And that, I mean, that didn't come out right because that was supposed to be, 10,000 BC. It was supposed to be more impactful, but I ended up having a freaking circle come up before.
I still say you did good because here's the big thing is so many people are longing for this. Some kind of interaction. It's like I see it happening.
But it just, I guess I'm reading them just being a baby right now.
No. We all know this. It's not our time. It's coming from the national schools. I recognize this. It's just not our time. It's time to hunker down and be what you can be professional. This is the season. It's not our season. You can feel it.
All right, Mark, you're sworn to secrecy on that too, my opinion. So don't tell anybody what I said.
Hey. That's one thing that I do well. Cause I need the same. I need the same from you.
I need a drink. I'm going home probably and having a drink.
You can go to your office and drink.
I wish I
Just you have your little stage.
just don't know. I wish I
We don't call it a prayer run, it's a drinking run.